Experience the I Am Melanin Magic difference by going to our website www.IamMelaninMagic.com and purchasing your products today. I am Melanin Magic, and so are you. Welcome to Tunisia's Locs, Beauty Tips, and Potpourri, the channel where we get it all in. You can also learn more about the I Am Melanin Magic brand. Thank you for stopping by. Greetings. You are with Tunisia Ali. Hello to all of you kindred spirits out there and those of you who are in the Sisterlock gang. As you know, I tell you, I want to kind of begin to just let you see my hair as I sit up here, because all of the people that watch these videos are not veterans, and sometimes they just want to take a look at the Sisterlocks and just kind of get a sense. I do have 580 something locks. Everybody's hair is different. I'm just showing you mine. My grid is not perfect. I can blame no one but myself. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to briefly talk about some of the ongoing challenges with Sisterlocks as you are in this journey longer and longer and longer. The things that I want to identify for you or share with you are simply my experiences and my opinion. So don't take it personal. It's up to you to use your own, percapacity or discernment in order to arrive at what makes sense for you. I use a combination of your feedback, my own personal stories, as well as my ability to extrapolate and use my common sense based on the knowledge that I have about hair, research, and just some of the things that I can surmise based on the evidence, okay? If this looks like a video that you're interested in, please give it a thumbs up right now. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and also comment and let me know a little bit about what some of your experiences are on this journey. Before I even start, I want to say that Sisterlocks is currently and has always been since the beginning the best hair decision that I ever made. All right. If God forbid something were to happen to my locks tomorrow, through my own hands or through the hands of my loctician, I would still be able to say that Sisterlocks was the best decision that I ever made. Would I feel the same if they were Microlocks? Yes. Would I feel the same if they were Tinylocks? Most certainly, because a lock is a lock is a lock. If it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a tiny lock. All right, so the difference generally can be in the grid always. The difference is in how they are started. The difference is in sometimes pricing, although that seems to be equalizing, and some other things that are not that important. But fundamentally, anytime you have a tiny lock that gives your hair a lot more versatility with regard to styling, and it's kind of, some people call it a cheat code to traditional locks. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but it can be. Some people feel that way, but it's a wonderful decision. It has been for me, and it should be for you too. However, it is important for us all to realize that although it's carefree and it does free you from the tyranny of hair enslavement, as you all hear me talk about, it's not the kind of style that you can, or the type of journey that you can embark upon and then just take your hands off the steering wheel, wash your hands of oversight, and just let it go, because it requires a lot of commitment on your part. It requires the ever so often several week retightenings. It requires quite a bit of upfront costs. It requires that you monitor and manage the health of your hair by looking at it frequently and trying to catch things that start out small but can become very big problems. You know how we say, where there's smoke, there's fire. That could not be more true than with this journey. Thanks to so many of you who contact me and let me know your personal stories. 678-438-6442. Shoot me a text. I'm not able to answer all the calls. Many of you contact me and tell me of the challenges and difficulties that you've had. Some of you have had the locks, eventually lost them and had to cut the hair off, and you've begun to grow the locks again because you love the style. The more I listen to a lot of what you say, the more I feel like we have to have a realistic view of what the style entails, and we have to broach the possibility that if we want longevity, what is longevity may need to morph as we go through the journey as individuals and experience various challenges. I do wish that some of these challenges were things that the brand would address. I think that it is only appropriate. However, I also feel that the more conscious that we become as consumers and as clients and customers, the more that we dialogue, the more that we raise the level of awareness, and the more that we approach this from a standpoint of analytics and logical thinking and reasoning, the better we will all be armed with information to sort of raise awareness and have some of these conversations that we need to have with our locticians, and maybe at some point be in a position to influence the trends of this hairstyle, the brand, and the way to care for it and beyond. And the reason why I think that this is so important is because there are a lot of things that can happen to you on your journey that can be frustrating to you, that you need to sort of have a way to mitigate. The frequent retightenings that you need to have, be it because of cost or be it because your hair starts to thin or may begin falling out and you're still having to go and get the reties. Things that may be associated with the rituals like the retightenings and so forth that you hear me talk about that can weaken our hair over time. It's a given. I'm going to begin to say that it is a given in more than half of the cases. And I'm not excluding myself from that. What you see me doing is making every effort to try to mitigate the risk. I'm trying to mitigate the risk because I've been at this for 12 or 13 years now. I don't have any hair loss issues in my family that I can recall. So if things start to happen, when they start to happen, I know that it's not genetics. The reason why I bring that up is because oftentimes when you're sitting in the chair of your loctician, for those of you who have gone to them for many years, and you start experiencing hair loss, they feel some issue around culpability. And as such, you may find, having had a relationship, an authentic relationship with someone for some time, you may feel treated unfairly when your concerns are not addressed, or you're told to see a dermatologist, or you are told that, or the perception that you have is that, well, I don't know what happened. Maybe you should try this or maybe you should try that. You put your head under the hands and tutelage and guidance of someone who you have more than just a relationship with, a business relationship with. You put your precious locks in their hands. And I think I speak for a lot of us when I say, even if you were losing your locks and you were experiencing some challenges and you had a loctician consultant who was ready to roll up her sleeves and address the issues that might go beyond genetics, that might go beyond something else other than, hormonal changes, stress, vitamin deficiencies, lack of water, the types of products that you might be using on your hair, that sort of thing. I think that most of us would be able to weather the storm, even if it meant that we had to cut our locks, or if we had to take them out and start over, or if we had to stop retightening a particular section of our hair, whatever it took, I think that we would feel better. And so I think the more that we begin to talk about these things, the more you sit down and you begin to have these conversations with your locticians way before you start having problems, the more you plant those seeds, okay? And you, hopefully for those people that are passionate, that consider themselves ethical and conscionable practitioners, hopefully we will begin to raise awareness, and this will become something that is talked about. More and more people are delving into these kinds of styles as a way to free themselves from the tyranny of hair enslavement, which is what you hear me talk about all the time. But typically when we go into this, I went into this thinking, okay, I'll keep them until I get to be so old that I can't get them maintained anymore. Or they get so long that nobody wants to retighten them anymore. Or my neck starts hurting and I just can't do it. Or they get too heavy. Like, I was thinking age. But I can promise you I was never thinking at that time that I would need to make a decision at some point because they began to thin. Because my follicles began to become unhealthy, and my hair was not able to rebound from, say, the regular retightenings, or the frequency of the retightenings, the quality of the retightenings, the management of the grid, the tension that is being used on the hair. I never thought of that as being the issue. Why? Because ignorance is bliss. I didn't have to think about it. It's been through this channel. It's been through some of my own personal experiences that I became very interested in this. And I got to be honest with you, when I first started the channel, after getting through probably the first year where it was a lot of pomp and circumstance about the style and the beauty of it and all of that gobbledygook, and don't get me wrong, because that's wonderful, but I began to seriously consider a lot of the feedback that you guys were giving me, and I started to recognize that many people beyond a certain point begin to experience issues like thinning, like the loss of hair, like the loss of locks, large areas of their hair, especially, if not all, especially if they're coloring, especially if the scalp becomes so aggravated because of tight retightenings and the kind of tension that can be applied by some locticians, to where your scalp becomes so inflamed that you develop over time scar tissue. Then you may lose all of your hair and it may not necessarily grow back. These are serious concerns. These are the kind of concerns that in a way made me a little bit angry. And it made me, I was miffed because I said, if this is happening to a large number of people who have supported the brand, then it should be acknowledged. There's no blame in it. There's no need to, there's no accusation of negligence if the brand begins to raise awareness about some of the things that can contribute to this that we are doing that are just a part of the style. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. If you start losing your hair, the last thing you're going to want to be told is you need to see your dermatologist. Make your next appointment in 6 to 8 weeks. No, like somebody's been standing over your hair all this time. They've been watching it. It didn't just start to happen. Every coming event casts a shadow. You want a little bit more attention than that. You and your mind of mind have got to know that the repetitive, ritualistic tension and trauma to your scalp has a consequence. It is not without consequence. So it may not, and I don't want to make this statement and manifest this, but it may not be if, it may be when. Okay? And that's what I am trying to investigate and try to mitigate. And one of the things that I know can be a preventive assist is trying to keep your hair healthy in general. Trying to supplement your hair with nutritive ingredients that help your hair rebound and be more resilient. Now, that does not go hand in hand. That does not go hand in hand with not putting products in your hair. That does not go hand in hand with not using oil in your hair as far as I am concerned. And you can see my videos where I talk about oil and to oil or not, because it is a personal choice, but you must do something. The same way you take vitamins, the same way you take supplements, the same way you don't drink tap water and you try to get alkaline water, or maybe you have a reverse osmosis machine, or maybe you have a Jupiter Athena, or maybe like me, you travel an hour and a half to go to Flovilla every several weeks to get 40 gallons of water right from the sulfur well. Whatever it is that you're doing in your life, You're making a concerted effort to combat other elements and raise the level of your body or your skin or whatever it is to be resilient. This is no different. It is naive to expect that you can have your locks installed and that you never have to touch them, you never have to oil them. All you have to do is go in for your retightnings on a regular basis, not miss those appointments, and so forth and so on. It is naive. Shout out to the sister who contacted me, who told me that her loctician consultant was a little miffed with me because I said something about 4-week retightnings. And I send you much love, and I pray for your, I guess, enlightenment. And I would say to anyone, I wouldn't care who it was and what degree they had, what cosmetology school they went to. All right, I'm going to tell you that getting retightenings every 4 weeks is going to be the fast road to hair loss, period. With a capital T on the end of the word period. It is not a wise decision. If I were a loctician, it is not a responsible decision, and there is nothing that is happening to a person's hair that necessitates they get a retightening at every 4 weeks for an extended period of time by a professional for any reason whatsoever. Might it be a tad bit different if you were doing your own retightening and you treated your locks like babies and you barely created any friction? It could make a difference to some degree, but does it give your hair enough time to bounce back? No. Does your hair experience more frequent trauma? Yes, it does. Did you ever get hair color or a relaxer every 4 to 6 weeks? Typically, we wait about 8 weeks, don't we? Because we need our hair to have time to bounce back. The growth cycle, the strength of the cycle that our hair has to go through in order to regenerate and renew itself is important, and there is a resting period that is needed. So I'm going to say this to that person. I would love for you to give me a call and let's discuss that 4-week retightening schedule. If you feel that you have a leg to stand on, maybe you can enlighten me as to why you feel that way. But I would caution those of you who happen to be on a cycle like that or have that be recommended to find out if that loctician herself gets retightenings every 4 years, and if so, how long they've been doing that, and see if you can't speculate or prognosticate about the health challenges or the health risks to your hair and to your scalp if you are experiencing trauma that often. That's 12 retightenings a year versus, say, someone like me who does every 11 or 12 weeks. I'm not encouraging you to do that. I'm definitely not encouraging you to do that. You probably should try to stay somewhere between 7 and 10 weeks. All right. That's just what I've done after the first maybe several retightenings all the way up until probably the last 6 to 8 months. It has served me well. I haven't suffered as a result of it. I deliberately made the choice not to do the retightenings that regularly because you feel the retightenings. And my common sense told me that that's probably not a good idea. Now, I'm somebody also that has always had their hands in their hair. From first grade on, my mother never had to do my hair. I come from a family of cosmetologists and beauticians. My grandmother died at 86, still doing hair in her basement with a cosmetology license. So hair was always a thing for me. I've had my hands in hair. I used to do people's hair weaves and box braids throughout high school and college. I used to do my own hair weaves when I used to wear them back in college. So I've always been interested in hair. But I have a passion for investigative excavation. If something is happening that is of concern to me or people that I care about, I make it my business to try and find out more. I am not a passive bystander in the process of life, and I encourage you not to be. Take a look at some of the things that you're doing with your hair on a regular basis. If it's not healthy or you need to fine tune it or you need to pull back from it, consider what it is you need to do. Let's say if there were top 4 things that were seriously at risk: 3 tightenings, the tightening all the way to the scalp, coloring, and let's take one other thing, which may be styling, pulling your hair too tight, maybe putting it in the cornrows, updos. Okay, if all four of these things eventually are going to lead to weakened locks, i.e. hair loss, you need to try to eliminate at least one of them. If you can eliminate two of them, even better. If you can eliminate three of them, wonderful. You want to give your hair the best possible odds, because I guarantee you, it's like riding over the same part of grass over and over and over and over. It's like my dog Albie, who formed the track in the yard the first day, because she will run for 6 to 8 hours until I bring her in from one side of the yard to the other side. Eventually, the grass that she's pounding on will eventually begin to die and a track will be formed. So, you know how we say faith is eroded a little bit at a time? You don't lose your faith in one day. You don't become sacrilegious or an idol worshiper in one day. Faith is eroded a little bit at a time. Things are destroyed. Beauty is tarnished a little bit at a time. You're not going to see the initial effects of some of the things that you do, but you'll see them over time, and time will be the test. So these are the things that we have to think about. We got to be doing something to help add extra strength and fortification to our hair to help combat the inevitable. Okay, Sisterlocks, Microlocks, and Tinylocks are a at-risk hairstyle. If you don't believe it, you need to face the music. With the exception of a very, very small percentage of people, you're going to experience some ramifications of this style. Shout out again to Miss Cynthia, who spoke about a lady who is developing a grid where it's more like bricklaying. It seems to fortify the hair more and lessen some of the risks associated with the particular grid that we have, according to some people. There are a lot of other styles, or a lot of other patented or beginning to be trademarked processes with regard to these small locks that are becoming more and more talked about. And that's great. And that's the beauty of being in a free enterprise system. Okay, there's competition, and with competition, we have the refinement of innovations. We are availing ourselves of choices. There's also a movement towards self-installations and self-retightnings. So hopefully we will begin to talk more about that. All right, I have some guests that'll be coming on over the next few weeks that I'll be trying to bring to you. For those of you who want to set up some time with me on Zoom to share some of your personal experiences, I would love to hear from you. If you have a problem getting on camera, fine. We don't have to do the face-to-face. I can block your face out and we just need your voice. But I think it's important that we all participate in this process and that we give feedback and we talk about some of the things that are working. We talk about some of the experiences that we have. We must raise the level of consciousness. We must raise the level of awareness in this community if anything is going to change, and you are empowered to do it as much as I am. I love you guys. I want to thank you for being here. You are the light of my life in so many ways. I cannot tell you the beautiful sisters that I have met all over the world by way of this channel. And I'll say it a lot of times when you all talk to me on the side or personally, I feel like I have thousands of friends in high places. I know I do, because you guys are wonderful, beautiful, kindred spirits, and I appreciate all your support. Please like this video. Share it, leave commentary, and don't forget to subscribe and turn your notifications on so that you can always know when I upload new videos. If you haven't purchased my book, which is Manifesting Your Masterpiece, all right, which is a book that is designed to help you to get clear on your life, embrace a prosperity mindset, clear and heal the energetic blockages and the things that may be standing in your way of really truly being in your power, your passion, your prosperity, and your purpose, so that you can manifest as a divine being of light and expression of God that you are. Get that book. All right. Again, thank you so much. Don't forget to catch that. I'm receiving all of the love and abundance and sisterhood that you all are constantly sending my way. Oh, and for those of you who are interested, it fell on the floor. I can only show you this one, which is the Magical Hair Growth Serum. For those of you who are interested in some of the products that I have developed, but that I have used on my hair since about the second year, I think, year and a half, second year, go to IamMelaninMagic.com, say hello to Albie, and you can check these products out. She's eating. She doesn't eat anything, but she knows that I've been working for about since 8 this morning. I have a lot of reorganization to do prior to 2023. I'm going to be having some sales, you guys. Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday, and special wrapping and so forth, and color changes for the Christmas season. As well, I'm going to be sharing with you a refresher oil, something that you can put on when you're in the car or after several hours when your American perfume starts to wear out. If those of you like some of you like the smell of the box when you open up my product, then you'll love this fragrance. It is oil-based, and it is something that will last, and it's something that will just lift your spirits and refresh you. So stay tuned for that. It'll be in a roll-on when I roll that out, hopefully within the next few weeks. So again, I love you guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening, and I will see you on the flip side.
If you are not using I Am Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Denisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time. Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic hair and skincare brand. My vision has always been to develop a line of products that meets the unique needs of melanated people. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage, promotes growth, and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and microlocks to wigs and protective styles. It's antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-funk, so you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
This really is all you need. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. The proof is in the product. Need I say more? Don't delay. Purchase yours today.
I Am Melanin Magic, and so are you.